Hi, today I'll break down how I made $13,000 trading the weekly range. I was trading with a smaller position size than usual because it wasn't the best market conditions. It was a choppy and a difficult week across all the markets. However, despite being a slow week, you will see the precision of my entries, how I aligned the higher time frame and the lower time frame for maximum accuracy, and the confirmations I seek before I even think of entering any trade. We'll also study how I scaled into the trades as the market gave me a massive opportunity, and how I managed my risk for it to be $0 as I was increasing my position size. That is very important. Furthermore, you'll get a glimpse of the peace that mastery brings you once you understand the market deeply and know what is happening at all times. Only when you're using an objective strategy that is based on real concepts and on what the market actually moves. It's not just simply, oh, the market is just moving by liquidity or buying and selling pressure. There are many things that you need to master. And once you understand those, you can become a money printer. You can become consistent. And you can extract money from the markets every day and every week. You're a consistent profitable trader. That's what my objective, and that's what I hope these videos help you guys achieve. I'm Moises Alteio, and I've made over $1 million trading at 24. I started this channel to share the real truth about how the markets work and show you how to trade the right way to build real, long-term wealth. I am confident that I have the best mentorship in the trading industry. If you'd like to apply, you will find all the details on the link on the description below. You can watch the video where I explain everything that you need to know, including my story with proof and all the details. And then you can book a call with me so I can get to know you. And now, I'm very excited for this video. We're going to talk about ranges, trading with precision, and it's going to be a banger. So let's begin it. And I want to start by showing you the trading week so you can see what I'm talking about. Moises, you said you've made money trading this, it's just going sideways. How did you do it? Let's study it in detail, because what I said, if you seek the right things, the right concepts, you see the market through a different perspective than anyone else. And you see things that nobody else sees. And that gives you opportunities that most people neglect. So let's see these trades that even in a slow market like this, in a sideways market, you can always find great opportunities like the ones we will study right now. And here on Sunday is the opening of the week. This Friday, we start the week up and then we start grinding down the whole Monday. What did I do here? I did nothing. Mondays, you either take scalps or small trades, or you wait for Tuesday. Monday is going to give you the direction for the week. And here is when we start to see opportunities. I saw, Monday low, which is this low right here. It's actually the same low as this 4-hour candle range. And that's something I really liked. So I said, okay, I would like to look for Tuesday to form a low here, do a false breakout of the 4-hour candle range low, and do also a false breakout of Monday range low. Because what will that tell me? It will tell me two things. It will tell me that the market makers will take price to the 50% of the 4-hour candle range, and also the 50% of Monday range. So I will have two reasons to be bullish on DXY, on the dollar index. And that will give me an opportunity to take a short on Euro USD or on British Pound, or to take a long on USD JPY, or to short gold. You know, there are many opportunities that you can do based on this simple information. What else this information is telling us? That is relevant for our plan? Well, that this can be a bigger trade. If we manage to break truly Monday, if we manage to break truly the 50% of Monday, the 50% of the 4-hour candle range, where are we going next? To Monday high and to the 4-hour candle range high. That's the move that I'm looking for. That's the move for the week. Even in a ranging market, I have a precision. And how I'm gonna be precise? By looking for the signature on the lower time frame. That's what we're gonna observe now. When do I know when I have to enter? After I've made this plan, that I know that at least we're going to the 50%. How can I be confident that I'm entering at the right time and I'm not entering here, you know, you enter here along, you put your stop loss at this low and you get stopped before the real move happens. Very common, right? You've probably, any trader has experienced that. You enter, you put your stop loss and your stop loss is the absolute low before the real move. So let's study what are the signatures that we want to see. And we'll also look at Euro USD in here so we can see all the details. My first question to you here is, when we take this high, which is a key swing, are we breaking it truly when we do this move? Yes or no? What is your thought? Your first thought, if you are here live, do you think that this high is broken truly? Me with my strategy, I look at it and yes, it's broken truly. However, something very confusing happens, which is that we break it truly and then we take the low. What does that mean? That's not normal. As a rule, once we break this high truly, you want the price to respect it, and you can see that with this candle, we absolutely ignore it. So if you enter a trade here, expecting this to be a breaker and to hold to continue higher, and you see this move right here, this candle that we're showing zero signs of bullishness, you can take the loss quickly. However, something important happens here, which is this, you see it, SMT. Before we see this, which is related to Euro USD, that you will see is more clean there. Here it's more complicated right now. But look then what happens. We sweep the low very briefly. And then again, we go up and now we do a true breakout of this key swing. What happens then? The key swing again becomes a breaker. And what have I said many times in my mentorship, in the channel? The wicks, they're distracting you. But the bodies of the candles, they're telling you the real story of where price is going next. Observe the bodies of the candles. Ignore these massive wicks. This we had news here. A revision of NFP. You see how we're holding the 50% of the breaker. That's essential. We hold it and expand to the 50% of Monday. That's our first target. Let's see now what happened in Euro USD in this exact low. And where was my exact entry? And a funny story as well, I will explain you there. So what do you see here on Euro USD? This is interesting, no? On DXY, we swept this, and then it's when we had the move. However, on Euro USD, we made a lower low, and then we expand lower, showing the weakness, showing that the market makers are accumulating their orders and filling their shorts because they want lower prices. Another thing that I didn't mention on DXY that I really like as well is that not only we're sweeping Monday and the 4-hour candle range, but we're also sweeping Asia range. You can see this at 21:45 New York time, at 9 p.m. New York time. We're sweeping Asia range. It's a second dick into Monday high, right? Second dick into the key level, which is very common to grab liquidity and stop these people that are trying to get in the short. You stop them before the real move. Then deep retracement. This is the first expansion leg, and then with the second expansion leg to the target. And then hit the target, and then another retracement. We can talk about this later, but see, it's very precise and very clean. Once you understand it deeply, which brings you peace when you're trading, because, you know, you just see it and you understand it, so you're not stressed, you're not worried, you're just chilling. Like I said in one of my videos, you're smoking a cigar while taking a shit on the toilet and looking at the trade. But what I want you to observe here is the key swing. Key swing, make the high at the beginning of London. We break the key swing truly. Now this becomes a breaker. Look at the bodies of the candles. And what is this I have here? The 5-minute key swing. That's the absolute high. Hold the breaker and expansion. 50% of Monday. There are 3 observations I want to show you now. First is, what is this 5-minute key swing? Let's see it. Is this, look how clean it is. Break it truly. Now this is a breaker as well on the 5-minute. It's a 5-minute breaker. However, the 15 is more relevant. It's the absolute high for my range and then expand. You can see that I put 2 lines here in white. That's the 4-hour candle from 5 to 9, which is usually a ranging candle. You know, it's usually what I always like to say. It's a time that you want to go to the gym or not be on the charts. You can always put alerts and look at it from time to time. But unless there are news at 8:30, this is usually going to be a chop fest. And you can see that even here that we got an expansion during this candle. On New York, it gave you another opportunity to add to the position here on this FBG. Retracement to the 50% of the price leg. And again, the wicks, they're distracting you. You see this big wick and you get afraid, but look at the bodies of the candles. Forming a key candle into the key swing. False breakout, lower prices. True breakout of Monday, 50%. Monday low next. And lastly is that this, I want you to observe this 1-hour candle range. Look how clean this is. You see it? Like one of my students, David, he said, once you see it, you cannot unsee it. You see it, how beautiful and clean, how precise. 1-hour candle range, flip the 50%, go to the high, into the 15-minute breaker and the 5-minute breaker, which is also the 5-minute key swing, with SMT on DXY. And then we get the expansion. Ranging markets, slow markets, choppy markets. Oh, this is so hard. But look at this precision. It's hard because you don't know what you're doing. It's hard because you don't know shit. You don't understand it deeply. And I'm not even... I could go to the 1 minute as well and see that with more precision, but I think this is enough. You don't need to go to the 1 minute and get lost there, because if you are not a master of the 5 and 15 minutes, you will always fail trading, oh, 1 minute market structure shift. Yeah, but what is happening with the 5-minute swing, or the 15, or the 1 hour? You ignore that, you always keep losing. And we're back on the king, the dollar index, DXY, for the homies. And, you know, during the day, we just continue the expansion. We form a range at the 50%, which is very common. You should always expect it. The only thing you need to do here is observe what's next, you know? What I do here, okay. 15-minute candle range, we hold the 50% and continue higher. Break it truly, okay? Monday high is next. And what happens here again that is interesting? On Euro USD, we take Monday low. However, here on DXY, we fell short of the target. Now, this is one of my favorite trades to take, that they will always give you the best opportunities. These trades, all my best trades are like this. So I have my first position that I enter down here. Oh, and let me show you my exact entry on Euro USD. My exact entry was here. One of these two candles. And then you can see that, oh, Moises was in drawdown. That never happens. You know, one of my best students, I remember he was messaging me 1 month ago. He was saying, you know, I've taken 15 trades in a row with 0 drawdown. Not 15 trades winning in a row, that is already great, but no, 15 trades in a row with 0 drawdown. How do you even do that, you know? With deep understanding. But yeah, Moises in drawdown. And it's a fine drawdown. That's why I had a small position here. I only had 5 lots, which I was risking around $1,200, which is nothing with my account. And then my plan was this, to get a retracement into the breaker and then here put my big position, my main one. But several things happened here. First of all is that I was in piano lesson. So I was in the city. All this time I was playing piano. From 5:30 to 6:30 New York time, which is the absolute high, is when I was playing piano. And then I was driving in the city and it was raining as well and the connection was bad. And you know, trading while driving and raining a lot is a dangerous business. So, and also what I said, this time I don't usually enter trades. So I decided to wait and not add to my position. But if I had entered here 10 lots more, now I'll have a huge position plus how I add it into position later. It would have been $50,000, $40,000 trade easily. Because you'll see I didn't have a crazy position with this trade and I make great money. And you can see here how I call it all live, as always, you know. We're not doing some BS. I say Monday range plan, Euro USD. This is a short that I had from last week that I got sold at break even. Stop loss, you can see the entry. You can see I said, yeah, because we did live trading as well, so we're looking at that live. Here Roman reminded me that we had at 10 AM the news. It wasn't in Forex Factory in the calendar, so it's if you know, you know, you need the contacts. Here when DXY hit the 50%, and updating the trade. And back to what I was saying, we fell short of the target. These are the highest probability trades. Why? Because if now we break this low, this key swing, truly, I know that my whole plan is invalid, that this is the high on DXY and we're gonna drop. So that gives you two opportunities. Okay, I can close my trade if we break it truly, or I can add to my position if we form a low here, break this key swing falsely, getting people to short, getting people afraid to close their positions. And then we get the real move to the target. And this is how I've made most of my money in my years of trading. These are my favorite trades, so that's why I seem a little bit excited. I want to take a moment as well to appreciate the precision of this, you know. There's never random levels. The absolute low is the 50% of this whole price leg. Hit the 50%, now you're at discount. False breakout of the low, grab liquidity. Bullish market, lows will be used as liquidity grabs to continue higher into the real target, which is not just Monday high, it's this. So what did I do? I added to the short another position. Here I was showing my charts live. You can see what I was looking. This is my real-time charts. This, I had here a 5-minute key swing, or 1 minute. Yeah, it's a 5-minute key swing. And as soon as we break it truly, with this 1 hour candle range as well, as an extra confluence, is when I enter, right here. Very precise and very clean. And then what I did, in order to manage my risk, is what I said here. So my stop loss of the first position, of this one, I move it to this high. So then what I was risking with entering this trade, it was covered with this profit that I had from the first position. So my risk for the trade was $0. I had a bigger size with lower risk, you know? For all the reasons I just explained, if this low was broken truly, the whole plan will not work. So it's essential. It's the most key level in the chart right now. And then you can see here that I added again another position. So I had now 15 lots because I started liking it more. And then I added again with another account 15 lots here. Stop loss at the high. This was my first one. You can see the entry here. And then this one. And then on Wednesday, we had CPI at 230. And look, we keep grinding higher. CPI is at 8:30 New York time, which is this exact candle. And this was funny because I had my alerts here. I was waiting the whole morning. It was morning for me since I'm in Europe, but I was waiting for this move to hit the 4-hour candle range and to get out of the trade just before CPI. Look what happened, CPI. I would have lost all my profits. And I said, you know, I'm tired of waiting in this range up and down, up and down. So I said, I'm just gonna close it here on this candle. I close it, and as soon as I close it, we get this candle to the target. It pissed me off because just with this simple move, I would have made a lot more money. Instead of 10K in this trade of profit, it would have been 20,000, you know, double. Because I was with multiple accounts with a larger size of my position. And I started here what I just explained. I was up almost 10K. I was up $13,000 at the lows. And I wanted another dig to the highs on DXY before CPI. That's why I was holding. But I'm fine with it. Holding for CPI could have made a lot of money, but also lose all the profits and even take a slight loss. So I prefer closing and trading after it. It's a gamble. And here we're laughing. And now when I close, I get the move I wanted. You see? Exactly, I close here and then we get the move. It was quite funny. The absolute high, our target, the 4-hour candle range high. Look how clean. Yeah, impressive. And you know, we cannot finish the week like that. We need a little scalp on Friday. I always like to take a little scalp on Friday, finishing the weekly range, and it's very easy. It just, you need to use the 4-hour and 1-hour candle ranges and pair it with the weekly candle and understand, you know, that it's going to be a ranging day Friday, just finishing the week. It can also be a trending day, so you need to be careful. It depends of what has happened during the week. Now this week we've just been inside of this 4-hour candle. So you know that we're going to stay ranging for the whole Friday. So what I did, okay, with the drop of CPI, we formed a 4-hour candle range that I can show you. It's this one that you see here. And this gives you two possibilities. It gives us a trade to the 50%, and then as soon as we see the rejection, it gave us another trade with a 1-hour candle range here. So this was two trades. However, this long or short in Euro USD, it was very hard to enter. If you look at the lower time frame, it's a very risky trade. You see, we're just ranging, forming very close lows, equal lows here. It's not an easy entry. Even if you enter here, you're in big drawdown, you almost get stopped, and then you get the target. So you have suffered a little bit. If we had taken this at 330, which is when we formed this low, I would have taken it gladly. And I will have made a lot more money with both moves. But let's see the scalp, because again, it was very precise and clean. We had the 4-hour counter range, the 50%, and then this is at New York. Here we start New York, we form the high at 8:30, and at 9 we do a retracement, and then we start expanding, and here I enter my long on Euro USD. You can see it here. By 10 lots, I was risking $800 in this trade, very little. Then we hit the 50% of the 1-hour counter range. We get a retracement, and I decided to hold during all this back to my entry. I didn't add to the position. I could, but I didn't want to risk more. I told some of my friends to buy, and they made money here, like they bought because it was at my entry. But since it's Friday, it's a scalp, end of the week, ranging week, slow, choppy, ranging market. I don't want to risk more, you know, that's why I was not entering 30 lots, 50 lots in a position. I just had 10 and risking just $800, very little. You know, if I take a loss, I don't even bother. It's just for fun a little bit. And look how clean. This is the 5-minute key candle. Very beautiful, very clean. A perfect key candle, an ideal one. It's also the 1-minute key swing, and it's also the 15-minute key candle. So I like to call it a humble key candle. And that's the exact high. And then what I wrote here, we're building liquidity at these lows. Here again, we fell short of taking it. And finally, you know that if we take this low, we're taking the 1-hour counter range low, because we flipped the 50%. And that's the absolute low of the week here, well, of this move, right? But look how precise. And we finish here, and where do we go to? Again, 50%, and we just finish. Just ranging. Complete ranging week. And great money was made with great precision, as I just proved to you. So I hope you can appreciate the beauty of this kind of trading, of the understanding of the charts, and that one day you can be like me and apply it and make money every day and every week. It's a great feeling. I love it, and I love trading, and I love the game. I've been doing it for 6 years, and yeah, I love doing these videos, sharing with you some of my trades, some free game for you all. And if you resonate with everything I say, with my concepts, if you want to take it more seriously, scale to the next level, and start making serious money, you can always join my mentorship. You see it, I call all my trades live, but my objective is for you to become a master. It's not for you to come here and start following my signals. No, it's for you to be free. Not for you to depend on, oh, what is Moises saying? No, I want you to be your own master, your own boss, and make your own decisions. That's my objective. And we're building a great network of successful traders. One of my best students, Devarj, was sharing this, and my strategy is the best, backed by over 500 trades, forward tested, back tested, and live. 82% win rate. That's a great win rate if you're a good trader. If you've been trading, you know this is great. Here, Kevin, he was, sorry bro, I didn't have the app. 1 month I made 15k, next was 18k, the last 2 I made around 8k, my best month was 20k, so killing it, you know? Once you have the right information, everything comes to you. So yeah, I really hope you enjoy it, that you had fun, but most importantly that you gain value, and that you're gonna be a much better trader after watching this video. You can click the link below to join the mentorship, watch the video and book a call with me. And thank you very much for all the support, for all the growth. I'll see you guys on the next videos. Bye bye.